Hi everyone, we are starting with chapter 5 emerging mode of business plus 1 NCRT topic, and we are touching the syllabus which is in our CBSE pattern. So what we are talking about today is emerging modes of business, and what exactly do we mean by emerging modes? Now emerging means latest trend, modes means ways of doing business. What is the latest trend in doing business? I think we all know after lockdown, the only thing which we can actually see the business being conducted is that everything has become online. So yes, e-business, the latest thing and the revolution in the business industry. When we talk about all these revolutions, you must have noticed that there's a total change in the market. People have stopped going to the traditional stores and they prefer buying things online. So this is what is emerging modes of business. What does emerging mean out here? Emerging means trend here, now, and which are likely to continue. This was a definition given long back when the e-business had just started, and we know this is going to continue for a very long time. What does mode of business means? It means the manner of conducting business, which is referred to as like mode. Why? Because what are the latest trends or modes of conducting business? There are three: digitization, outsourcing, and globalization. Let's come to digitization. When we convert the text, we are talking about text, sound, images, video and other content, any kind of content, into series of ones and zeros that can be transmitted electronically, it is known as digitization. If you have seen your computers, if there is some kind of error comes into the computer, it comes in a very different kind of a language. That is the encrypted language of your computer. Similarly, there is a binary code. As far as I remember, there is a binary code which gives you something like this. I am not very sure. I am not a computer literate, but something like so. When they're talking about a series of ones and zeros, this is what it means, that all things are in this kind of series which get converted into a different kind of text or a different kind of image which you can see the way which is supposed to be seen by you. So that's called digitization, digital world, right? Next we talk about outsourcing. Outsourcing means that there are two options for you. Either you do things on your own or you give it to somebody else to do it. So initially what used to happen was, what people could not do on their own used to be outsourced, which were usually non-core activity. Like for example, if there's a person who owns a factory, so what he used to do was, he could not clean the factory on his own, so he used to outsource people, or they used to keep one person who used to clean, they used to keep their own people to clean the factory. So basically core non-core activities were being done by the people within the organization. But now what they do is, non-core activities are given to be outsourced. Like I have a factory and I want something to be advertised. I'm manufacturing t-shirts, I want those to be advertised. Now starting with buying of the equipment, getting a model, getting a team with looking after, and that's not my business, that's just one advertisement I want to conduct, and after some time, maybe in a year, 2 advertisements I want. After that some time, that equipment will become redundant, and that manpower will also be of no use, and those resources will be of no use. Why should I go for getting all advertising team and everything? Rather I should outsource it to somebody else. Those are our non-core activities. What people have started doing is, they've also started outsourcing core activities. Like for example, Nike is known for its brand in t-shirts. It gets it manufactured from where? Third world countries, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. All these countries, they manufacture for Nike, they manufacture for Adidas, they manufacture for Dolce & Gabbana. Outsourcing. So the core activities are given to some other place, they come back to the factory, they put their own tags on their own, and then sell it into the market by their own name. So outsourcing means sourcing out or giving out something which you can do yourself, but you are sourcing it out because you want to gain on the basis of experience, expertise, etc., specialization rather. So it refers to long-term contracting out of non-core and of late core activities to specialists with a view to benefit from their efficiency, experience, expertise, and even investment. Yeah, you see, if you set up another plant, like for example Nike is a big business, they know if they manufacture t-shirts on their own, it will cost them more. So what they do is they give it to the third world countries, they manufacture it, send it to them. The third world countries get some kind of work to do. These countries get work done at lesser resources. These t-shirts come back, they put their tag and then sell it to the people outside, so customers outside. So at lesser cost things are being manufactured. Investment, expertise, experience, and we all know that India has low cost labor and very expert labor. We have very skilled workers, but the kind of payment which is made to these kind of skilled workers is very less. So outsourcing. Third is globalization, which means internationalization, attaching Indian economy to the world economy in a very colloquial, simple language to know the meaning of globalization. Now, what are the factors which really affected this thinking of emerging mode of business? See, when you talk about emerging mode of business, first thing you have to keep in the mind is the criteria that why people wanted to shift from the traditional business. Now, people wanted to shift from the traditional business because they were things which had to be catered to the customers, and they were things which had to be looked upon by the businessman. So, starting with the same fact, the newer mode of business are not new but new ways of doing business. Same traditional business being done in a newer manner. Factors affecting new modes of business are business firms have to strengthen their capabilities of creating utilities. Now, whatever utilities you have to create, you have to serve to the customer, and you have to keep on multiplying it. So, if you outsource, it gets multiplied. Business firms have to deliver value to beat competition. So when you talk about competition and you have to beat competition, you cannot beat the competitors being in a particular country at one place. You have to be global. So you're beating competition with the globe. And it's easier to beat competition with online business. Why? Because everybody can access your particular product. To manage ever-growing demand of consumers. Yes, if your product is in demand, then you can only manage once you have bifurcated. Now, I'm not talking about in terms of having many verticals, but when you have a business which can reach out to people more. For providing better quality of products. So when you talk about better quality of products, of course, when you get things done through outsourcing, expertise, specialization, better quality products are made available. Of course, at low price. I give example of India, and nowadays Bangladesh and Pakistan are also doing the same thing. For speedy delivery of the product, online products are cut delivered, and you know what? For better customer care. Yes, online, how better customer care? See, even in traditional business, you have customer care. People are very loyal, and the same type of people walk into your shop every time. But when you talk about online business, many people got perturbed when those Chinese apps were deleted in India. And along with that, many fashion apps were deleted. Why? Because people used to get goods at very lesser price. So, because they used to care for their customer. The moment things were not liked by people, they used to immediately exchange it. That kind of a exchange in traditional business is there, but sometimes it's not that palatable. Here, within 2 days, they make the change. Whatever you like, whatever you want. If you don't like the product, they mention it out there. The product is returnable within 15 days or whatever, so it is. That is the reason people started switching over to the newer modes of business, talking about it in terms of digitization, outsourcing and globalization. Now, highlight came upon e-business, like I told you, may be defined as conduct of industry, trade and commerce using computer networks. Same business being conducted through computer network. Alright, to continue with the topic, we're coming to difference between e-business and e-commerce. If you remember, in the previous board, I gave the definition of e-business. So when industry, commerce and trade started happening electronically, it was known as e-business, and commerce was part of the e-business. Now, let's come to the understanding part. The process of carrying out business activities related to both production and distribution of goods electronically is known as e-business, but buying and selling is known as e-commerce. The process of carrying out buying and selling of goods and services electronically is known as e-commerce. So we as customers, what do? We basically buy goods. We don't sell it further, but we buy goods, or either we buy for selling it further somewhere else. We are dealing with e-commerce. E-businesses when you produce and distribute goods electronically. Now, how do you produce and goods electronically? You don't produce and goods on the internet or something like that, but all your details are given through that. Now, e-business is wider in scope, of course, because commerce is part of business. Next, e-business may involve use of internet, intranet and extranet. Internet we are all already aware about, like the broadband connections which we have, whichever you're using, Net Plus or Airtel, whatever you're using. Intranet is within the company. Now how intranet works, I'll just let you know. Suppose this is company A, and the company A has an office in Jalandhar, and the company A has also an office in Delhi. Okay. Now when the people in Jalandhar and Delhi, they can communicate with each other without use of internet, without use of the kind of internet we people have, but the other net which the company has, that is known as intranet. So this is within the company, no outsider can be involved. So the Jalandhar office people and the Delhi office people get connected with each other with that company's intranet. Like for example, Reliance has a intranet where all employees connect with each other with the Reliance intranet, not internet, their own intranet working of connecting each other within the office. Now sometimes Reliance may allow somebody from outside to connect with their office, that is known as extranet. So when within intranet people from outside are allowed to communicate, it becomes extranet. Now what is intranet? Let me give you a desi, very desi, which everybody would know. Desi meaning of intranet. You have intercom facilities at home. In one house, one intercom is used, and the intercom has different numbers. Like for gate you may have one, for drawing room you may have two, or for bedroom number one or master bedroom you may have three, and so the whole house gets connected. That's intranet. Something like that is intranet. Yes, when with that internet you give an access to somebody else from outside to get connected with you, it becomes extranet. And when within that house you have another phone and somebody from outside calls you up, that is internet. Desi meaning of internet, intranet, extranet. Here it is conducted through internet only. We know it, the internet connections which we use, the broadband which you talk about. E-business includes both internal as well as external process of business. Here we are talking about working within the organization and outside the organization, but here e-commerce activities are confined only to externally oriented process, involves interaction with customers, suppliers, distributors, etc. Of course, because it's e-commerce. Here you have to get the production done, so you have to have some kind of connection with the people who are working within the organization. Next we switch over to is the benefits of e-business. The first and most important benefit of e-business is lesser cost and getting connected with more people. It's a very simple phenomena. Internet, online, e-business works when you have more contacts, not when you have more investment. Nobody is seeing what kind of office you have. Nobody will come and reach and talk to you, but people would know what is your rating on the e-business platform, online platform. So e-business is relatively easy to start, nothing is required, no building, you don't need any kind of building, you don't need any kind of stock or inventory to show or anything. It's just that you can, whether you have the stock, you just have to click pictures. Many a times, these people who carry on the business, carry on e-business, they click pictures and they may have lesser number of variety in stock, but they click pictures from different angles. It looks so beautiful and it looks so lucrative and that attractive that we end up buying that product. The benefit of internet technology accrue to big or small business alike. So whether it's a big business or a small business, internet will behave the same with everyone. Here contacts, network is better than the net worth, that is investment. So investment doesn't make any difference, but yes, connectivity does. So the phrase networked individuals and firms are more efficient than the net worthed individuals. So you have to concentrate with networking instead of net worthing in e-business. Second, convenience. At the click of mouse, 24/7, 365 days in a year and 52 days in a week. 52 weeks in a year. 52 weeks in a year. Yes, continuously. So internet offers convenience of 24 hours into 7 days, 52 weeks, 65 days. You can access anything, anywhere, anytime, whatever you want. You are holidaying somewhere and you want something urgently, you just contact the local vendor, he'll deliver you within few hours, anything, anywhere, anytime. You want to buy online, you may just contact, you want to buy something from, like so many times, like I usually give this example. Recently in India, China banned some apps, and in those list of those apps, there were 2 or 3 companies which were into dealing with the clothes and accessories and bags for women. Imagine, I was sitting in India and shopping from China. Can you believe that? True. Club Factory, and there were a few more other to name. So Sheen, and there were a few more to name. So simple as that. Sitting in India and buying from China. Anything, anywhere, anytime. Okay. Next is speed. Click of mouse. Internet allows all the transaction in the click of mouse. More beneficiary in case of information intensive product like music, movies. You can just at the click of mouse order and get it. Now everything is at the click of mouse. Today I ordered for myself, since my hair are getting shorter, so I ordered some hair oil for myself from one of the brands. Yes, click of the mouse. I was just sitting, saw there was an offer, buy one get one free in price of one, you're getting 2 products. I ordered. Speed, that's true. Like movies, music, e-cash has made it very, very attractive. I usually make payments through Paytm or Google Pay. If it is personal, then it's Google Pay. Otherwise, it's Paytm or sometimes debit card and credit card. Imagine, so easy to pay. E-cash is there, digital cash is there, no hassles at all. Global reach. What exactly do we mean by global reach? No boundaries. No boundaries at all. I love to do shopping from a brand called Urbanic, and it's in USA. Can you believe? No boundaries. Let's come. Internet is boundaryless, allows seller to access globally, so it's global, allows buyer the freedom to choose and buy anything from anyone or from any part of the world, and that's how things go. Now, movement towards paperless society. Now, there is a movement towards paperless society because there is less dependence on the paperwork or red tapeism. No rules, not exactly no rules, less rigid rules is what we talk about. Give an example. Initially, for getting a passport made, you had to go to the VFS office, and there were a lot of paperwork that had to be done. Now what you do, you take appointment online, get all paperwork done, be ready with it. They give you an appointment, and as per the appointment they call you the next day and tell you when you have to come for the interview. After the interview you get the visa and the passport is delivered at your house. Comparatively hassle free. So there is less dependence on paperwork and red tape. E-commerce tools are affecting government and administrative jobs reforms alike. So same way, like approvals, licenses, filing of returns, passport documentation, etc. It's all become in a jiffy, comparatively easier. You can sit at home and file your returns. You can sit at home and check your bank account. You can sit at home and pay your bills. So it's more towards the paperless movement. So next we continue with the difference between traditional and e-business. Like I've already told you that I'm going to give you the limitations headings, though it is deleted in the syllabus, but we'll give you limitation headings as well as e-business applications. Those applications are there in the syllabus because there's a question in our textbook, back question is there. So we'll do e-business application, but for time being I'm doing traditional business and e-business difference. Starting with ease of formation, which is easy to form. Of course, e-business, nothing has to be done. All you have to do is you have to click some pictures, put it online, and you must have a website and things get started. Here it's difficult. You need to have a place, then you need to have a proper decor, and then you have to put the things which customers like whatever product you're selling. So it's comparatively difficult and lengthy process. Physical presence, in traditional business it is required, in any e-business it is not required. Physically you are not required to be present there, you can just buy online things. Here you need to be there as buyer as well as seller. Locational requirement, market for products is required. You have to be in that market where that product is saleable. Here it's not necessary. Wherever you are, people can access you anywhere, anytime, anywhere, for anything. Then here when you talk of cost of setting up, this business is high, and here the cost of setting up e-business is comparatively low, because you need to start from the scratch till the end. You need to buy the land, or you need to buy the shop, or you need to pay the rent, you need to buy the you need to pay for many other expenses, like you have to do the decor, like I told you, you have to do the interiors, and you have to get the salespeople. Here that kind of a thing is not required. Operating cost of maintenance is very high, because everything is live, people keep on walking, and then you have to pay for the electricity bill and not other operating expenses. Here it is all relationship based, so you have to be networked rather than being net worthed. Then nature of contact with suppliers is indirect, you don't meet them every day. Here direct, because things are happening online, so customers and suppliers are meeting online, they may not meet face to face, but then the sellers sell directly to the consumers. Here there are intermediaries who are selling, the retailers are selling to the consumers. Nature of internal communication, hierarchy is followed, that is there is top, middle and lower level. So when you will go to 12th standard, then you will come to know that in every organization there is a hierarchy like this, and this is the top level, that is the middle level, this is the lower level, and here are the workers who work in the organization. Top level usually has the CEO, middle level has the production manager or any other kind of managers, so we call them departmental heads. So you have production managers, and when you talk about the lower level, you're talking about none other than the supervisors, right? So this is the hierarchy followed. Here there is no hierarchy, there is direct, horizontal, diagonal, any kind of contact. So wherever horizontal means it can be when you're talking people at the same level can also be there. The suppliers, one supplier can talk to another supplier, there can be a direct contact between the customer and the supplier, and then can be a diagonal contact. So supplier can talk to somebody who is not a customer, who may not be another seller, but he can be somebody else at a comparatively lower level. Maybe he can be any kind of customer is the right word. So there has to be no hierarchy of communication. Then response time is usually long. Why? Because you go there, you see, you check out the clothes, and then you try everything. Here on click of a mouse, you immediately see, you like the product, you take it, it comes to you. If you don't like it, then you return it, otherwise it's on the click of the mouse. Shape of organization is vertical. Vertical, when you talk in terms of, it's like this, shape is vertical. Here it is horizontal, people at the same level talk like this, so it's vertical and horizontal out here. Then a business process and length of cycle, here it is longer, here comparatively it's shorter, we know it, because here we're not doing production, here we're doing production and then buying from the wholesalers, then it comes to retailers, and then it gets to the consumers. Here direct, the seller is selling, maybe he's a producer or he already has a stock, so he's selling it to us directly. Opportunity for interpersonal touch, here much more scope is there. Here there is no scope or very less scope, nobody talks to each other except for on the phone, or maybe the connection is when you write on online. Now e-business is also done on WhatsApp, and a lot of other apps are there, so you can communicate to them and you can talk to them. Now it is there, initially that was also very less. Opportunity for physical pre-sampling of the product can be done easily, but it can be done only digitally through pictures and videos, and you see the pictures and videos and then only you buy the product. Ease of, that is the reason why sometimes when you buy the product, you may not get the same product what you've seen on the pictures. Ease of going global, here it is less possibility, here it is much higher possibility, as internet is truly without boundaries. We know it's boundaryless, anyone can buy things from anywhere. Here government patronage is less because it's normal type of business. Here it is becoming more because government wants to encourage the IT sector, and by 2000, it initially started from 2000, and by 2025 they want to make it, they want to actually eradicate the digital divide, as well as they want to make it a household commodity. Nature of human capital, here semi-skilled and even unskilled manpower may suffice. Any kind of manpower is good. Here technically qualified people are required. Why? Because they should know how to use the computers and digital technology. Transaction risk is low. Here it is more because sometimes the delivery of the item is something which you had not imagined for. So this is the difference between traditional and e-business. Next we are going to talk about is just the headings of limitations of e-business and then the e-applications. Alright, so to continue with, I just told you that we are going to do the limitations of e-business. So here are the limitations of e-business. I'm not going to elaborate, we're just doing the headings so that you know the basic of it. First is low personal touch. We know that e-business, there is no personal touch. People do not, the seller and buyer do not meet with each other. So the personal touch is not there, which is there in the traditional business. Incongruence between order taking, giving an order, fulfillment, and the speed. Now what happens is, sometimes when you give your order, it takes a lot of time in the delivery. Sometimes the order which you try to give is not processed because of poor internet connection. These days, many websites, they give inconvenience for delay in delivery due to COVID-19. So these are the problems which may happen anytime. There are many external factors. The pandemic is happening, COVID-19 is happening now, but otherwise there can be many other reasons. So order taking, order giving, as well as the speed, sometimes the delivery takes too much of time. Next is need for technology capability and competence of parties to e-business. Both parties should be competent to use the e-business. Like for example, both should know the technology in terms of computers, how to use the laptop, internet, everything. There should not be any digital divide. That is, people should have proper setup for the e-business. In India, there is a digital divide. Some people have all electronic gadgets and some people do not have. COVID-19 did make a lot of difference to people when the students started having online classes, and many people started getting access to the internet as well as smartphones. But still, there is a kind of digital divide which the government is trying to overcome. Next, increased risk due to anonymity and non-traceability of parties. Sometimes those who actually place the order are not known, and sometimes those who take the order, the sites may not be very authentic. So there is some kind of problem always happening, and you do have bogus or fake kind of sellers who send you fake goods. You order something and something else reaches you. There are, if you search on internet, you will find that there are people who ordered a big table for themselves and they got a toy table, and they ordered big chair for themselves and they got a toy chair, and there are many other things also out there. Then people resistance. Why people resist? People do not like the idea of e-business because they cannot personally try the things, they cannot personally touch the things, and we have a mindset where we always try to know that whether this will fit us or will look good on us. So there are many things like that which actually create a problem. Then ethical fallouts. Now, what exactly do we mean by ethical fallouts? There are some ethical concerns which are there in e-business. Sometimes, in e-business, people do not work ethically. Like I told you, they show something else and they send you something else. They sometimes charge you for the delivery. They sometimes charge you for the kind of offer they are making, but that offer may not be very, like they're giving you one-on-one free, and when you get the free stuff, it may not be up to the mark. So there is a concern out here, and what companies have started doing is that they have started keeping a track on the ethical concerns also. So basically, in e-business, sometimes sellers show their ethical fallout and sometimes the buyers show their ethical fallout. They send wrong checks in case if you're making payment with check, or sometimes the debit card and credit card are not theirs and they use somebody else's money. So there are many such things. Of course, there are some kind of devices to track this, like you have now. If you fill in your debit card or credit card, your bank account details, there's an OTP. These kind of things are being worked upon, but still 100% accuracy has not been, still actually we've not achieved 100% accuracy. Now next we come to is e-business application. There are 5 points which we need to do. First is e-procurement. Procure means to get. Now, it involves internet-based sales transaction between business firms, including both reverse auctions that facilitate online trading between single business purchaser and many sellers. So sometimes you have reverse auctions also, and sometimes when you want to buy goods, like there could be many vendors and one purchaser, or there could be many purchasers and one vendor. Either of the way, whenever you procure goods, the transaction happening is e-procurement. E-auction, you quote your price, you quote the particular price and there's a bidding, and whatever is the best price, that person, you can buy that particular product. I was noticing the other day, traveling just within the city. I was traveling and I saw a big hoarding where the government of Punjab is doing e-auction of some commercial places. So imagine, e-auction has become our latest trend. Most shopping sites have quote your price, whereby one can bid for the goods and services, and the government is also using. I just gave you an example. E-promotion and e-communication. Whenever you're sitting online, sometimes you get pop-ups, you get advertisements, and you get different types of promotions about different products. So this is what is e-promotion. Selling goods online is promoting goods online. It includes publication of online catalogs, displaying images of goods, advertisement through banners, pop-ups, opinion polls, and customer surveys, etc. Alright, e-delivery. It includes electronic delivery of computer software, photograph, videos, and ebooks and journals and other multimedia content to users' computer. Like for example, while doing recording, I had to edit my video, so I am doing it through KineMaster, I am doing it through Filmora, then I take my classes through Zoom. All these have been purchased, so they were delivered to me. E-delivery, I made payment for them. Next we come to is e-trading. E-trading involves securities trading, that is online buying and selling of shares and other financial instruments. We have already talked about Demat account in the 4th chapter. So that buying and selling electronically, which is happening, and there's a site also which is called sharekhan.com. Now this is not the share, the lion wala share. This is sharekhan.com, is India's largest online trading platform, and you've seen this happening online every day, because nowadays we are online platform and a lot of pop-ups keep on coming up about buying and selling on online. So people have started working on online buying of shares and selling of shares. A lot of revenue generation has been happening. So this is one of the things which is latest development in the e-business, e-trading. Now next we'll do is the scope of e-business.